Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's morning ramble. And as you can probably hear, it is pouring rain. I'm in Texas visiting family for Thanksgiving. There's also a rooster next door. But I'm going to assume that you can kind of hear your way through that. And I've been thinking a lot this morning about goodwill. And what I mean by that is one of the things that I've noticed over the years, and I kind of assume many of you, at least here in America, are noticing during the holiday, is that how much the little stuff bothers you in relationships is less to do with what the little stuff is and more to do with the amount of goodwill there is in the relationship. And in order to kind of get a sense of what I mean by that, I'm guessing you've got at least one friend who could pretty much get away with murder, and it would be, well, that's just them, right? I mean, I know they killed the guy, but I mean, look, they meant well. And then there are almost certainly, and I mean, you can think about who that person is for you. I've got a few of them. One of them is my buddy David, who I've known forever, and we've actually joked that he could do anything but murder my family. And actually, if he murdered my family, I'd still want to know, well, what were the mitigating circumstances? But whoever that person is for you, I'm sure you can also think of the contrast. And the contrast would be the person who, if they look at you funny, you want to murder them. Right? If they make, if they cough, you see? Right? Now, what that would indicate, and I'm playing the extremes deliberately, in those instances, it's pretty easy to see that it's more a question of goodwill than, yeah, but he looked at me funny, or yeah, but he murdered my family. Right? You can pretty much see it's not the content, it's the general sense of goodwill. You may also have it with politicians. I noticed this in myself. There are certain politicians who do things that I look a little dodgy and I feel myself kind of inclined to defend them. And then there are other politicians who do things that are probably okay, but I'm like, you see? And I can feel it in me, and I recognize the difference is less in what they do than in the amount of goodwill. I understand there are exceptions, both personally and politically, to this, but I'm hoping that you've already got a feel for yourself, and I'm hoping you're at least a little bit curious about why is it that some people can get away with murder figuratively, not literally, and other people can't do anything without setting you off. And what I'm suggesting is that there's a goodwill factor, and that goodwill factor is the single most important factor in any good relationship. I don't have a better word than good, because if the goodwill is there, the relationship is good, and if the goodwill is not, no matter what you do, no matter what they do, it's not going to get better. So, if you want a little experiment to try, then just as you go through your day today, notice in your relationships, kind of give yourself a score from 1 to 10 for the amount of goodwill in that relationship. And then notice, how often are you upset with this person as opposed to that person? How long does the upset last? And see if you can see that connection between goodwill and the seemingly upsetting and difficult things that people do, and the seemingly wonderful and helpful things that people do. And if you want to increase the goodwill, it's often as simple as knowing that that's where you need to look, and that's where you need to start, not with any of the specific examples. Have fun, learn heaps, happy experimenting, and I'll talk with you soon.